Good evening. The mayor mobilized an army of volunteers to stop Devil's Night fires. One fire official says tonight's arson fires are the worst since 1984. But in many parts of Detroit, the people appear to be winning. It's calm. In pockets of Detroit, of course, the arsonists appear to be winning. Now, these pictures we're showing you are just in to us from the east side. The east side, hardly what you'd see on a typical night in Detroit.
Amongst other terrifying colonies, the House of Krazees consists of three of the most horrifying humans known to man. A mysterious trinity of unexplainable subhuman cannibalistic behavior. A mass of evil that boggles the mind beyond the point of extinction. Let us analyze.
He drugged the victim, then strangled them, and finally dismembered their bodies.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 9 of season 7 of the Juggalo Rewind podcast. Hopefully, your favorite Juggalo podcast.
I think I need to call you on the number. We need to renumber it.
Why do we have to renumber it?
Because last week, I called it number 7, but you called it number 8, I believe. Because I didn't count the Halloween bonus edition. I thought that was its own numbering. So I think we need to renumber the season.
The whole season?
Just those last two episodes.
Nothing but the season? Yeah. That's funny because I didn't know how to number the bonus episode.
I'm going to text you that because I made all the collateral and didn't tell you that. The collateral. The fucking... whatever you want to call it. The gimmicks. The posts.
Yeah, we screwed that up. But anyways, we are nearing the end of this season of the Juggalo Rewind. My name is Peter. I'm here with Chris. He's already giving me shit because I warned him I was going to give him shit. Yeah. So he's just trying to hit me with it early.
Hit you with your best shot.
What's going on, Pat Benatar?
Nothing, I was preparing for this episode, so I've been listening to a lot of classics, if you will.
What do you mean? Define classic.
Well, we'll get to it. We'll get to it when we get to it. But spent a good day at least. Good day of work listening to stuff from the early 2000s, late 90s.
Well, we will definitely get into that. But let's get some stuff out of the way, and then we have a lot of stuff to dive into. So, as we noted, we are the Juggalo Rewind podcast, and we deep dive into Juggalo albums, generally speaking, one track at a time.
Yep.
But this season, because of the lead up for the HOK reunion show, we did a little different gimmick. And we went deep diving into the whole era, all eras of the House of Krazees.
That's right.
We're talking Mr. Bones. We were talking Hectic. With 2 Ks, 1 K, 1 C, 2
different
Cs.
everywhere.
Doesn't matter. He's still there. And the R.O.C.
Yes. I thought you were going to say Mr. Bones. We did not cover Mr. Bones. Maybe we should add another extra episode to cover Mr. Bones solo. Then we'd have to add another one to cover R.O.C's solo.
That would be tough.
Yeah.
We could. Those could be little, what do you call them? December bonuses?
We have to discuss our December bonus. We haven't thought of that yet.
Oh, yeah. Anyways.
We got a month.
Or a couple days. Anyways, so we're seeing the home stretch of this House of Krazees season, and just to remind everyone, it doesn't matter if you're a longtime fan, a new fan, or you're just finding us right now. We have something here for you, whether it's in this season, if you go back in the archives, we have plenty of seasons to go back and check out. Mm-hmm. And as Chris likes to say, if you like this season, and this was the first one that you were into, then you really should go back and listen to season 1, Most Tasteless.
Yeah, it's a good lead into that.
It ties right into...
And we're getting into the winter months now. You might want to get it nice and cozy. You might want to go to your bookshelf and pull the tome off the shelf and read along as we read The Pendulum 2 seasons ago, and enjoy that in a nice crisp, a nice blanket, get a fire, get yourself a little hot chocolate, read along with us in the tome 2 seasons ago. That was fun. The Pendulum season.
You dance or go to sleep with visions of, what's his name? Of Kilnor dancing in your head. So yeah, lots in the back catalog for you to listen to. But yeah, if you have already been joining us, you know what the deal is, and you know what we're all about. This season was the oral history of the House of Krazees, but we're now winding that down.
Yes.
And getting ready for whatever comes next.
Season 8 around the corner, but a little bit more to go. Just a tad.
Just a couple more things. A tad more episodes, but a lot packed into them.
And we'll see. I bet you'll blow right through this.
Much like the turkey that you're going to be stuffing next week, it's going to be crammed full of goodness.
Much like the Detroit Lions will be stuffing the ball right down Chicago Bears' throat.
Is that who they're playing?
Oh, yeah.
I always thought they played... Oh, no, they changed it every year?
Yeah, it switches up.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Who cares?
You still don't believe, do you?
I do not believe. It's going to fall apart.
They're winning the whole damn thing. Just like I said, Michigan was winning the whole damn thing a few seasons ago. What happened? National defending, reigning.
They still are.
Conquering. Oh, yeah, every week I'm going to say that, no matter who they lose to every week. Hopefully they win this weekend so we can go to the Mayo Bowl or the... Actually, I seen that the what is it? Mower Daddy's Fenway or Mower's Daddy New York Stadium Bowl game? Pinstripe Bowl, that's what it is. It's like New York Daddies. It's like Mower Daddies something presents the Pinstripe Bowl. It's like the longest, dumbest name.
I love when they have the someone presents.
So yeah, maybe we'll go out to New York in the winter.
I'll go to a game at Yankee Stadium.
My only trip to New York is to go see a shitty bowl game.
If Michigan football plays in Yankee Stadium, does that mean that Drew Henson is going to be the honorary captain?
Captain he should be.
Star of both of those franchises.
Star is a stretch.
Who else has played for the two most storied franchises in American sports?
I'm sure we can find plenty.
Derek Jeter and Drew Henson.
Yeah.
They played for the Lions.
Oh, yeah.
And for the Cincinnati Reds.
Didn't know that. So did Macho Man, right?
And for the Brighton Bulldogs.
Brighton Bulldogs.
He fucking tore people apart in high school. But this isn't a high school football podcast. Not yet. Not until
yet.
Chris's kids are in high school.
Maybe that's how we get Bryce Underwood to Michigan. We just get him on here. Maybe he wants to talk about the house.
He could be a fan. You never know.
He could be a fan.
All right. So I don't even know how to lead in or what we're going to do. Do we have any bits? Do we have anything to talk about? We have a ton we could do, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I did see a comment
Yeah.
on a past YouTube video that said, quote, 22 minutes in and haven't talked about the topic at hand. Boring.
Boring. Someone said that.
So I am now very upset because I have a thin skin and I'm already on edge and I don't need any more negativity. So
More comments the better. Cook the algorithm. Talk shit in all the YouTube comments if you want.
Yeah.
And then someone come defend us in it and just argue for like 47 posts and then we'll be good to go.
I would enjoy that.
We got to cook them YouTube numbers so we can get some ads on the on some of the bigger playing ones. We need 500 subscribers. Working on that.
We're halfway there.
We're close on the hours we need. We don't have the subscriber count yet, so.
Well, that will be on our list of things in 2025 of our to do and our
board.
Our vision board. That will be on there. So I've mentally started a couple things. So let's put that on there.
Let's do it.
Push for the YouTube.
I like it.
All right. Do we want to do any gimmicks or do we want to please the people? I think we should do a quick gimmick.
Let's do a
Are you
quick
ready?
gimmick. I'm fine with it.
I like to throw things at you.
Yeah.
You know what's been piling up?
The YouTube?
The old YouTube history.
There's some weird ones lately, I think, in there.
Oh, that's every time I look at it, I'm like, we need to do this.
Every time I look at it.
So, if you are a new fan, we haven't done this season
No,
yet
not
at
this
all.
whole season.
Chris and I have a joint. We have a joint?
Joint.
That's a different podcast. We have a joint YouTube account for the Juggalo Rewind, which you may be watching us right now on. We sometimes, if it's on our phone or it's at our homes, we accidentally do our personal searching on there. And this is a segment where we look to see what each other was flooding our YouTube history with. So I've pulled it up on my phone and we are going to history. I will try to either fly through this or cut it short because there is a lot here.
Yeah, I don't even know when we've last left off on this thing.
All right. Yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to get that far. We'll try to time this at we'll give it 5 minutes.
Okay.
So lots of stuff we're talking about today that we both listened to. Lots of or old Detroit hip hop.
Yeah.
Wow, a lot that you were listening to today. The 5 minutes will start when I get done with that. Okay. Official trailer for Third Eye Spies.
Cousin Aaron sent me that. It's about CIA having telepathic people reading events across the world. Some sort of a documentary about CIA spies.
All right. Fiasco, the AIDS crisis.
Yeah, I was listening to that podcast series. For whatever reason, that episode is not on Spotify. Spotify banned that episode apparently for some reason. So I was trying to listen to see why Spotify tried to hide that one. I don't know.
They're hiding it.
But I had to listen to it there because it wasn't on Spotify.
We have a couple native funk tracks. That could have been me listening before Halloween. Although you were probably listening again.
I was listening again to look for the title of the one I posted on TikTok just recently.
Gotcha.
Can't think of the name of it.
So,
but nothing wrong with listening to more native funk.
And I listened to that also. That'll probably be here later on. But,
Yeah.
I remember specifically I was in the gym listening to it right before I said Hall Wicked, didn't I? I meant Fright Fest. 2 videos of Bart Gunn brutal KO by Butterbean.
Nothing. Always need to watch that.
Nothing wrong with that. A documentary on yacht rock.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's coming to HBO, I think.
We have some documentaries. We got David Letterman. We have one on the Beatles. We have The Occult Experience from 1985.
Back digging through that, looking.
Let's see. Some of our own stuff. Pig the movie.
So that's a buddy of ours. He started writing a script for a movie called Pig about these alien or monster pigs that terrorize the city, and he said it's a mix between Maniac Cop, which I think he's just kind of ripping off Maniac Cop, and some other movie, but he had an AI generated trailer that he made for it. He's like, I want to make an AI version, then when I get more funding, I'm going to fill in with the real actors. So that's his trailer on there.
That's great. Do I know who this is?
Corey Sunday. I don't know if you ever met him. You've probably heard stories of him.
That tracks.
Yeah.
Enough said. That'll be another conversation for another day. I'm going to try to skip all the trailers because there's so many trailers.
Yeah, that always happens for me.
Tacos Dorados for Cinco de Mayo. Ground beef tacos.
I don't know what that is. I don't know how I wound up on that.
Let's see. Okay, that checks. We have lots of live Joe Kane.
That was you. I want to go back and watch it after seeing the little clip you had.
I do enjoy listening to Joe Kane because until I got it all working on my phone, I couldn't listen. So I would just play that DVD, the live DVD on YouTube, get my fix. We got some Green Book remixes and rarities. I was listening to that. I didn't realize. So you would have seen it last year. And they played it again this year. During Fright Fest, during Ham Shabam, that cartoon in the background, I thought that was made just for that. Twisted put that online like years ago.
It was an actual video that they made?
Someone made that cartoon.
Yeah,
and I never saw it.
Yeah, I assumed it was just for that event. It makes sense though. It's a lot of work just for a live show.
I thought it was super cool though. But yeah, the whole thing is like in normal, good quality.
That's sweet.
So we need to get the tattoos of the fucking
little characters.
Yeah, real sweet. Lots of Twisted stuff. A little Billie Eilish. Our friend Samantha just went and saw Billie Eilish with her kids. It's awesome.
You know what it was? I was stealing the songs on there for the football banquet.
I do see a lot of instrumentals. I was at the gym. Let's keep talking about the gym, bro. I was at the gym, and sometimes I just text someone, and I'm like, what should I listen to? And Sam was like, Billie Eilish. I'm like, okay, there's like a Billie Eilish workout playlist. The first song is like an intro and like slow as fuck. I'm like,
yeah, she sounds mellow, but her bass is always like super heavy in her tracks, I feel like.
The second song is with her and some other girl talking about their underwear and going down on each other. And I'm like, how is this a workout track? Like I can't
get your blood pumping me.
I was working something out, but not in public.
In public.
So I wanted to hear some angsty Billie Eilish. Like, I would like to get into that, but that just wasn't the time or place.
She's good. Her new album's solid.
It's what everyone says. I just couldn't. That wasn't the time. Seat Away, level 45.
Oh, what the hell?
There's a game that I play on my phone. It's like a puzzle game, and I couldn't solve it, so I had to Google
figure out how to do it.
How to do it. So level 45 was a tough one. Bob Backlund and marijuana.
That was on election day. Said that to someone. I've never eaten marijuana, he says.
Wayne County Wacko's Driveway of Dread. Did you watch that?
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's a funny one. And we're coming up on our 5 minutes, but we have lots of Michigan State football.
Getting
we have,
excited for the game back then.
Yeah, no. Ice Cube performs "It Was a Good Day" at the World Series.
Did you watch that?
No,
oh
I
man,
didn't
it's
see
super
that.
sweet. He comes like out of the dugout and like sings 2 songs. He does "Bow Down" and "Today Was a Good Day."
That's
Real
kind of
hype.
ridiculous. Yeah, I've never.
No wonder they won.
Sons of bitches. God, we have lots of just old HOK and Twisted. Like, we spent all month on that and college football. So, I mean, I don't want to go on and on and on, but that is basically just look at all the fucking HOK we listened
over
to.
and over.
Because we didn't have any other way to like listen to it.
Yeah,
So
I mean, I do have the
really...
files on my work computer.
Jesus, I guess we're not that far. We didn't do that much because now I'm already into what we did for our...
The intros?
Yeah. But we probably didn't do lots of the Ghoul.
Yeah.
Western Michigan and Ohio State. Now we're back into that season. Yeah, I guess we didn't have a ton, but there's some good stuff there.
I thought I got a little weird out there. Missed some stuff.
Oh, there was still some weirdness. There's a lot of movies that I skipped over, but
a lot of movies.
So that was trailers.
Oh yeah.
So yep, that's our YouTube history.
Mm-hmm.
Always a good one. I enjoy that, seeing what you've got going on, and sometimes I learn like, oh, there's a movie. There's a, how we're
the Yacht Rock documentary looks cool. I'm excited for that.
All right, I'll put that on my list. All right, so we haven't really speculated on what we are doing here, but we are going to dive right into the episode right now.
Yes.
We have a deep dive, but we also have a historic purpose to this episode. We are going to attempt to talk about everything HOK adjacent.
Yes.
So I'm sure you're chomping at the bit to talk about this.
I just keep trying to think of names for the episode as we're going along here.
Keep thinking, just put them on the side and we'll figure it out. So, backtrack. Our season has gone through every album for HOK.
Yes.
We did the 5 major albums. Then we did their return with all their like onesie twosie singles. And then last week we did 31.
Yeah.
And now we are going to talk about those years kind of in between Head Trauma and the return, where Twisted left, R.O.C. tried to keep everything going, and through different like
incarnations.
Yes, that's a good one. Different incarnations of the House of Krazees and how they may have turned into different bands, different other people, but we're just going to quickly kind of talk about all of those.
What they were.
And then the last one we will deep dive into.
Yes, that sounds good.
Is that a fair assumption?
That's a fair assumption.
So we are talking non-HOK, HOK.
So my block, these are the crazies on my street. How about that? For name an episode.
You want that to be the title?
I don't know. We'll work it out.
All right, this is a very much Chris heavy episode, so if you don't like him, then you should just fast forward right now, because he's going to be doing a lot of excited talking, and I'm going to be doing a lot of sighing.
You weren't into this back in the day, huh?
No, zero. Absolutely zero. We should mention, we should make this like a part of a segment, right? We don't do this enough. Talking about, then I feel like we're stealing from another podcast.
Oh, is it?
I think it is. But, so never mind.
Okay. Well, we should show this off when we go. We'll get to it. We'll get to these guys. They're part of the whole family.
What about these guys?
That is them. They've been on the table the whole series. That's the Dirty Trio. So, House of Krazees, yeah? They disbanded?
What do we say? 97 into 98?
Yeah. I think if you want to get the back of that, I think we discussed that in episode 0 of season 1, right? Most cases, I think we discussed the split. Because we discussed, kind of how House of Krazees morphed into Twisted.
If we didn't at the very beginning, we didn't know what we were doing at that time, so we kind of like...
At some point in that season was discussed.
Maybe through the... Probably at the very beginning, but also with the 3 tracks or 5 tracks that they made for Jay on the tape.
Yeah.
I'm sure that we touched on that. But yes, if we have to do it very, very quickly, at some point... Twisted was on tour. Oh, we talked about it this season too.
Yeah.
Twisted was on tour with ICP. They came off the tour. They kind of went back. They went to Jay and said, hey, would you like us to be, we still want to hang. We're not this season is not about throwing anyone under the bus. Who knows? Because the real story that we hear is either in Jay's book from his perspective, or it's from like interviews I've read with R.O.C., but it was right after that, and he was probably, could I say, more angry than if he were to tell that story now. I bet he would tell it differently. Yeah. He seemed a little, spiteful isn't the right word, but just he felt he was in the right at that time. So I think it's not fair to put the words in his mouth from that era.
Yeah, we're not going to rehash 25-year-old beef of young 20-year-olds at the time. Like, it's all stupid in hindsight looking back on whatever.
But needless to say, HOK broke up. 2 members went to Psychopathic, and R.O.C. went to continue the brand. Do we want to talk about... I feel like... Did we hear this, or did we talk to him about this? Why they continued. Why he went on with the brand of HOK.
I don't know if he ever said exactly why he did.
So that's what, maybe it's my speculation, or I picked up on it from somewhere else.
He wanted to say that he just wanted to continue what he already was building with it, right? Like,
and I thought that Walter was giving them money and wanted to keep it going. And so it was almost like R.O.C. maybe didn't want to fully do it, but he was getting like a fully funded like project. He's like, oh, we're still doing HOK. Here you go. And he's like, well, fuck, I guess if you're paying for it. Like,
I think he did say that when it comes to, because they start with the house, and then he becomes House of Krazees again. I think, that was Walter's saying, is I own this, I want to make another one. He was kind of wanting to do something different with...
yes, like if I'm going to fund it, and I'm going to fund you, you need to be the brand that I have already built.
I already have it set and built the foundation of.
Again, I don't think we're saying anything that's like... negative towards anyone. I just think that's like a common sense kind of thing.
For him, if he's funding it with no understanding of hip hop in general, based off comments of whether he's just something he wanted to spend money on. Have as a side project.
And why would you want to start over? Like if you dumped him on, that's like us doing this and then one day being like, oh, we're just going to change the name and the logo and the website, and that's like, who's going to follow? You got to continue on what you start. So that being said, R.O.C. continues the lineage of HOK, and this is where you pick up and I check out.
In 1998, as Twisted becomes Twisted, R.O.C. still on Lantium under Walter's watchful eye. He starts The House. The House, spelled HOWSE, and then the name of the album.
This is what I was going to make fun of you for. If you can pronounce this, I will happily go through the rest of this episode, and I'm giving you time to look at it and lip it as I see you're doing. You already started off bad.
I was going to say S.O.L.
That's better than I would have done. Yeah,
R.O.C. said it when we were talking to him at some point.
Did he?
He said, because it's metamorphosis backwards.
I didn't know that.
Look at you, huh? See?
No, it's not.
Well, I might have spelled it wrong with the typing there. Yeah, that's it. Metamorphosis?
Metamorphosis.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But
fuck.
That was the name of the album. The band, The House. S.O.L however you want to say it. Welcome to the New Millennium is the name of their album.
1998. Not in the new millennium yet.
Well, they're ushering it in. They're getting ready for the new millennium, and then they're just going to go back to being a House of Krazees. But they're ushering in the new millennium. So this album came out in 1998, recorded at Red House Studios, which he told us
it's just his
basement,
studio, yeah.
And that was master of the disc. So back to the good old days of recording at the house and back to this. But this one, most of the album is produced by Mr. Vitalogy, who is
big Pearl Jam fan.
It must be.
Is the next one produced by Mrs. No Code,
Mr. Yield,
Senior Lightning Bolt.
So yeah, interesting that
good pull with Yield. I'm proud of you.
He loves to produce, but he only gets 2 tracks on this one. It's like the opening track and one in the middle somewhere. But you kind of could see it because this is more of a traditional sounding hip hop, I guess you would say, when it comes to the production and the beats. And this group is huge compared to HOK.
Oh, is it?
So you have Mr. Vitalogy, you have the R.O.C, who starts going by S.O.L during this.
I was going to ask you that, so I guess we'll get into that.
Yeah, I think he uses both names on here, kinda, but nonetheless, there's those two. There's The Beast, Armageddon Pimp. There's also Black Widow, who you know as Miss Corona, and then Shanghai.
Is that their full name?
So those are the members. The cover art was drawn by Mr. Beast. Cool cover art. It's like a weird alien-looking thing. So that always drew me in when it came to digging up all these groups. Early internet days of you chase down HOK, then you start chasing down all these. Basically off the next album is kind of what led me to find the House and Half-Breed and all that shit. But yeah, this cover art definitely draws you in. The only thing I had noted about The Beast is he kind of sounds like Charlie Tuna from the Jurassic 5. He's got a very cool, deep,
random note,
unique voice. But yeah, Miss Corona on here. That's exciting to see. She becomes a staple of our hip hop world in the next couple of years.
She is the star of 8 Mile.
She is. What's her name on that?
Oh fuck, I would never remember.
She worked at the factory though, right? With them, and they have a battle rap in the parking lot.
She battled at the food truck. She battled not M, but wasn't it someone else?
It's been so long. So I just remember the battle at the food truck at the plant.
Why do I think it was Exhibit?
You might be right. Yeah.
So, yeah, I like Miss Corona.
And then the track Black Widow that Miss Corona's on has the Halloween theme in it, which I feel like it becomes a thing throughout all of these post-HOK groups that they would all rap over the Halloween theme.
The next one definitely had that, right?
Yeah, and then I feel like Bedlam did. I feel like so many of these bands started using everywhere. Now
we're just, that's a whole nother conversation of not just, this episode is HOK, not even adjacent, not even off the branch of the tree, like they talk about the coaching tree. Then you're getting into what HOK inspired,
right?
Which is a whole nother fucking conversation, because you can argue ICP, what people tried to do with them, but without this, that would be just people doing shitty, goofy, funny kind of clown shit rap. But the people who did it with knives and axes and blood,
it all came from this lineage.
Yeah, so there's really a weird crossover there that we don't really talk about. You just assume oh, you're a shitty Juggalo rapper in your backyard.
Right.
But depending on how you did it, you really did pull from one
house.
or two.
How you did it, you pulled from the house.
All right, just keep going.
But no, you're right. Especially modern Juggalo rappers, not in this realm. But back when we were going to these shows.
Oh yeah, when I say modern, I mean our modern,
but
not real modern.
I was going back to your point that when we were going to shows and you'd have 3 or 4 bad local rappers or just random horrorcore acts. You are right. They all kind of follow more in this lineage of they take this. It's almost like backyard wrestling or deathmatch wrestling. Where you're they did it with a sprinkling of horror and violence, and they took these next generation of rappers in the early 2000s, took it and torture porn like level of stuff, and it's kind of funny that the use of the Halloween theme becomes like prevalent throughout all those.
It
because
really is like the epicenter, or like the most pumpkin spice latte of like basic horror bullshit.
And it's funny because HOK never actually used. They did use Laurie's theme, which I found a few episodes back, but they never actually used the do 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 do. But then it becomes just like everyone's using that to like be the spooky horrorcore rapper.
Yeah. I was just gonna go somewhere with all that. Yeah, I don't remember. I think Miss Corona's her name was Vanessa.
Vanessa, yeah, that sounds right. So the House released that album in '98. There was a few samplers pressed on red, blue, gold, and silver foil. So Walter dropped some bucks for the new House instead of the last HOK album.
Or they're like, well, we need 200 of them, but we have 60 of this color and 50 of that.
Yeah, were those all the...
Do you want to wait for all 200 to be silver? And he's like, fuck, just give me whatever color.
I was just thinking they had a bunch of leftovers from the old HOK albums, and they're like, just record this House samples
just a bunch
on
of blanks. I feel like I had the gold, the silver, and the red.
I like that you had no interest in this, but you had the 3 samplers.
Because they must have just either given them away at shows or whatever. Like, for sure, I had 2 or 3 of these. And looking at, like, as we talked about this today, I don't think I still do. I think this would have made an early cut of me, like, cleaning shit.
Stuff out.
I always have, like, eras of cleaning shit and, like, giving stuff away. There's no way that these still made the cut. But I was going to make some cuts recently in my closet for hats that I have.
Oh, yeah?
I never wear hats, right? But
you never do.
But I was looking through a few, and I'm like, I don't need these. But then there's a couple I'm like, I don't wear these. These are all real cool. So I need to start, like...
popping them out.
Yeah.
I went on a run last year of, like, U of M Rose Bowl hats. I had some really cool ones. Anyways, what was I going to say? Oh, the other little note I had, the song Death Is Yo, Enemy. Death Is Yo, Enemy. R.O.C. like mimics an Esham flow to a T. I kept trying to like figure out which one it was, but it's so hard. I keep probably used it multiple times, but it 100% sounds like an Esham. But just going back to that lane, that's the most kind of spooky. I guess you get that in the Halloween do beat.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like I said, it's kind of just a straight hip hop. Like I've listened to it and it just kind of in one ear out the other. Like it just sounds fine. Everyone kind of flows all right, but nothing pops out. In that realm.
Was this a full album? I know it's hard to say, but like, are we talking like same 32 tracks that
Not
are on
32,
like Season of the Pumpkin?
But like 12 to 14, I think, around.
Like
I can't remember.
CD.
Yeah, it was a full album.
Because the next one is Short Boy.
Yeah.
Which I didn't realize until I was listening to it today, and I'm like, that was like 18 minutes long.
See, we could have covered the whole thing.
Anyways.
So the House would then go on to record a few other random tracks here or there, and then they started a second album, they said. Never finished it. I don't know why they disbanded, what happened.
I wonder if that was meant to be like a group, or was it just like a Wu-Tang deal, like where they came together every once in a while and then they would break back up. Like,
right. There was notes in the Discog page for it of like what everyone kind of went off to do. Not many like continued rapping that much further outside of Miss Corona. Like some got into like movie production and random things and whatnot. I'm sure they rapped for a little bit after that, but not not a ton. So that was 98. A year later, House of Krazees.
Who's even to say, maybe you know this, maybe one of our boys out there are Ben Teeters or other people who are into this.
I was going to bring them up next episode and shout them out for being a resource for this, for sure.
Who's to say that this wasn't already going to happen, like, HOK or not?
That's true, because they were calling themselves The House before for their writing credits, and maybe they just would have had another side project, almost like the Midnight Suns were a side project.
Or this is just like R.O.C. is like band of merry men,
right,
and women,
and
like I don't know, like I guess there's a couple here. Jesus, they're killing me.
I'm trying to hold them in.
There's some of these are clearly HOK like reboots. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's what we're calling this, because they're not all reboots. They're like offshoots. This one may be an offshoot, not so much a rebrand. Hard to say.
Right, because it came out after, but it could have been coming out regardless. Yeah,
and it's not exactly like We Are House of Krazees. Like, I don't know. Tough one to say. Yeah. But we haven't gotten that far yet, so I don't want to bury the lead with what we're talking about. Okay. So speculatory that this may not have been like a HOK 2.0, whereas the next couple, definitely
100%.
HOK 2.0.
Yeah.
Even more so with your last note on the next one, where those are like, it's like the episode of The Simpsons where Homer clones himself and they get dumber and dumber and dumber and dumber.
Yeah.
These potentially, no disrespect to any of the artists involved, aren't exactly the same as the original photocopy.
That's true.
So,
kind of like your Mr. Bone shirt from
I knew you were going to say that. Except that is fucking phenomenal. That's the best shirt they've put out since. Fill in the blank.
Since?
I don't even know the answer to that. Since ever.
I want that 2014 baseball tee. When I was digging up stuff for next week.
Dying to get that one.
Anyways, 98. That was 98. One and done.
And when did the next one come out?
99. I don't have an exact date. I think they wanted to have it in 98 of Halloween. So again, maybe that goes to the point of the house was going to be a separate entity to begin with. Because from when I was reading that could be wrong. We're Juggalo historians. We're not 98, 99 Detroit
hip-hop historians.
Hip-hop horrorcore historians. But from when I was reading, the night they came out was supposed to come out Halloween 98 and just wasn't going to get done, so it got pushed to 99. Not sure when in 99. I'm guessing like early. Quarter one drop from Old Walter Enterprises.
My point was, we totally buried that we buried a lot of things here and me trying to make a joke. I was trying to get you to say that 1999 was a good year. So
1998 was a good year because Michigan won a national title there.
So that's the first thing. But I think we skipped over the fact that this CD is called The Night They Came Home.
Yes.
With a K, The Night They Came Home. And then also that's a play on The Night He Came Home, which was, is that the original tagline for the first Halloween? That wasn't like a backtrack kind of thing.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Put me on the spot on that. If they added it after the original run. And
I'm not trying to compare, but like the first Star Wars, what's that called? Is that A New Hope?
Yeah.
But you didn't call it that until like...
It was just called Star Wars.
Yeah, now 20 years later, people are saying, like, was it like a re-tag?
Yeah.
I don't know. I always see The Night He Came Home, but I didn't know if that was
right off the bat. Yeah. It might not have been just in the original. Because it was, reading it was in theaters, didn't do well, and then was brought back like a year later or 2 years later and like took off then. Like, so yeah, maybe they added that in like the second theater run even, let alone.
Yeah. But anyways, this is a play on that, obviously. And then they're rebranded back to the House of Krazees.
Yes. But.
Who's they, you might ask?
Well, you might have heard his name last album we discussed 4 minutes ago. S.O.L. He's officially just S.O.L now, the R.O.C. And he's teamed up with Scraps with a Z, obviously. I mean, why would it be Z? Okay, yes. I
have a funny story about R.O.C. changing his name to S.O.L.
Yeah.
So I remember, I don't know if he listens, but this is why my anxiety and my OCD is talking at all time. Because I remember the dumbest shit.
Yeah.
Boy Kelly's friend Tony.
Yeah.
At one point when we were talking, we're talking 20 years ago, right? I think you and I probably went, I think it was when we went to that, did you go with me or did Rex go? To the Isham in-store? Somewhere random in like Mexican town?
Yeah, I think so.
And like I got my Acid Rain CD autographed. The pen exploded, much like when Raven.
Yeah, I was at that one.
So,
I think I got my like an Acid Rain poster signed or something like that.
So when we were at that store, which was, again...
Random fucking place.
No idea where that is, right? Like you couldn't find that today. I found the CD of Big Soul. Do you remember Big Soul?
Yeah, that was a different local artist though, right, too?
Do you remember where we know him from or anything about him?
I always, again, we started calling Sanchez Soul also around this time, I thought.
So racist.
So So they all started bleeding together in my brain of who was it. But I remember Big Soul for sure.
Because he always opened for Dime.
Yeah.
And the hit that he always had was In Fuego.
Yes.
And that song is fucking sweet. And I still have that CD and a sampler. And I remember talking to Tony about it, and I'm like, oh yeah, we found this CD. And he's like, that's not Soul. And I'm like, I know they're two different people. I got the one I wanted. I didn't want the other. I got In Fuego. So if I have that burned, I will play that right here.
Yes.
If I have the time to.
I was going to say, that's not on YouTube, probably.
I've looked for his stuff, and it's very hard to find.
I can't imagine, yeah.
So I have the CD and like a mixtape or a sampler.
Part of the stuff I got to dig from you from all the MP3s of Detroit that was the trade, what we have of those.
I'm friends with him on Facebook.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
So
we'll get him on for a Dime season.
For sure. We have an In Fuego season.
Get all the openers. We'll get Disregarded on.
Oh, my God. We got Who to What?
Crown P Camp.
No one's talked about Crown P Camp in 20 years.
Hey, this is the episode to bring these names up.
We got the Purple Gang. We'll get the Outfit Boys.
The Outfit Boys.
All right, we'll go on. We're talking HOK.
Night they came home. Souls and Scraps. We'll get to Scraps, or should we now get to
who is this young man?
He is local hip-hop artist. Part of the crew. We'll get to him a little bit later, but he was part of another HOK affiliated. So we'll get to that as a little bullets online. But nonetheless, he is the newest member of the Asylum and the Ghoul Mask. Now they're more mental patients in this gimmick. There's footage of them at an in-store with Bedlam, and they're like chained up.
Yeah.
Bedlam's like yelling at them to sign autographs. They're like, argh. So yeah, I feel like went more heavy on that theatrics.
Do they not have like green? Like does one of them have a green mask now?
It's green and orange, and like more of a bright orange than a pumpkin-y orange. They're wearing the Michael Myers like mechanic suits.
Yeah,
I do like the cover. It's very late '90s, early '90s. Like it's
very bad.
But I like that. I like the. I don't know. There's something about this era and those album covers like that. Just like that Season of the Pumpkin one with the shitty little lights hanging above them. Like something about it I like. But this one was recorded at the Chamber, which I imagine is still R.O.C's basement. He's just changing the name.
Possible.
And then mastered at the disc. So still in the realm of how we've been doing all these.
Daddy Ham.
Daddy Ham should have been part of the house. Little notes here you had Come and Get Me. The track has the Halloween theme in it as well.
I picked up on that as soon as I heard it. You pointed this out. The track Adrenaline has I'm Psychopathic Like Twisted. It's a funny little line.
Yeah. And the credits in the book, R.O.C, like he thanks like everyone. He like mentions ICP, Esham, and he's like, yo, Twisted, what up? So I'm like, are they cool at this point?
Yeah, it's so hard to say. It seems at the time that seemed like an eternity.
From just 97 to 99,
yeah. But when you look back, they were really, quote unquote, not getting along from 98 to 03, 04. And then he's on Hatchet House, and they're up and running.
And
so
like, in the booklet for Most Tasteless, they credit him for murder, and apparently that was the deal. Is like, he said, as long as I was credited, it's fine using it. So they were on speaking terms then. So maybe just got weird with that, and like, I don't know. Yeah,
we probably talked about this in season 1. There was an interview that he had, and I remember reading it. I could probably find it. I didn't think it'd be relevant here, but it totally would have been. But I think we just talked about it already in season 1, and we pulled like bits and pieces of what he said. But yeah. So even he said, I think in leading up to this season, I listened to his interview on Fresh as the Word.
Yeah.
And he very distinctly says, and I don't want to put words in his mouth, but like at the time they thought it was, like you said, bigger issues, and they really were. And the problem when he looks back at it, that they suffered because they lost their friendship for that long. Like, it's not business, it's not whatever. Like, the fact that they went so many birthdays and kids' parties and all that stuff without his boys, like, is what hurts him the most. So.
Yeah, I've heard him say that elsewhere too, so that makes sense. Speaking of the murder, at the end of the track, a little hidden bonus, is his third verse, which later on gets released by Magic Ninja, but at the time, that'd been cool, I guess, to hear that pop up on there, like a year after, 2 years after that would have been released. So that's a cool Easter egg at the end there. And then that's the only House of Krazees release by this duo. They would soon be changed to Half-Breed.
Yes.
With one full-length album, 2 EPs, I think.
Jesus, now you're way deeper than me.
And then in 2000, they would become Level Jumpers with... Is it just called Freeze?
I would just say
spelled
Freeze.
F.R. Everything's gonna be spelled weird and.
It's gotta, yeah.
But yeah, I remember again. The going through all these takes me back to like in high school on the internet. You found all the House of Krazees shit, got into that, and then it was like, oh, there's another House of Krazees called 90. There's only 2 of them, and I didn't know who it was. Like at the time, and I'm like, okay, I recognize one voice, but the other one doesn't sound familiar. And then you wind up finding the house, and then you wind up finding Half-Breed Level Jumpers, and I'm like piecing it together. Like that was the fun of this. These albums was like not even listening to them. It was just like oh, I found this. Like you found like just felt cool, like finding this hidden thing it was or whatever.
I was never into as it got like watered down. I was never into it, but that's me. So. Like.
Half-Breed still was like spooky, horror-core-ish, if you want to call it that. Level Jumpers was just straight like backpacky hip-hop. They were trying to head towards with that, I feel like, more.
Yeah.
And at that time, I didn't give a shit about... Like, if I was going to listen to that, I was going to listen to like Talib Kweli and stuff at that point. Like, when I'm coming to this era of music, I'm looking for the spookiness. So, yeah, I would never got into that. And then that would be it for those incarnations. Apparently, there was going to be a third version of House of Krazees.
This is news to me.
Yes. So I've been digging on this, and I was on the old Deck 1 Delt, not Deck 1 Delt, it's the other guys. Twisted with Us, ICP with We, HOK with Die, whatever they call themselves. That. So I was on their Discogs, their Discord, talking about that, and I brought up this thing that I text you, because on the Discogs page for the house, they discussed that there was going to be a third House of Krazees, and they had 2 demos recorded with Mastermind and YUG on the hook. And I took it that Mastermind was a member, but when I was discussing it there, they said, I think it's just worded like weird that it was Mastermind and YUG
on the track.
With them. So there's no clear indication of who this new HOK would have been. House of Krazees would have been at this time.
Yeah.
Walter has an interview. This was in, I think... We've said the word horrorcore so many times today. Horrorcore.com, I believe it was.
I think it was .net.
.net, yeah. I think it was on there. And they asked him if he was going to start fresh. Why not let the House of Krazees name die with some dignity? Why not start another legacy? And he says, that's what I'm doing. It's all new people. I still make money on the old merchandise. I still make money off the CDs House of Krazees put out. It'll be similar to what we were doing before, but it'll still be House of Krazees. Just mentioning that he owns the name, and why wouldn't he keep using it? We're going to continue House of Krazees. House of Krazees is coming back. It'll be back on the road touring, in stores doing shows and everything. Though it never happens.
There are other acts in this genre even today where people probably think that they own their names and they do not. So you could have a Diesel and Razor. Oh man, that'd be real funny if he put out a show. Is Walter still around? That's a good question. Yeah, I don't know. I thought I heard he was dead, but his family still owns the name. Well, maybe that's why they somewhat are using it now. Oh. Anyways, yeah, I have no idea. I mentioned the name YUG. That was R.O.C's cousin, I believe so. Yeah. Which I was digging around trying to find these tracks. I'm like, well, it was noted. Maybe they're somewhere. Yeah. And then I found it was like a Fago Lovers clip from a Fright Fest or a Hollow Wicked. I think it was a Hollow Wicked. Outside of Harpo's, they ran into YUG. And I was like, oh, is he talking about it? No, he was telling a story about like when HOK was recording
at this house, and he was like, why don't you put me on a track? And they're like, no. And he's like, man, I'm sweet. So like they were out of the room, and he like went to go record himself, and he's like, I didn't realize like you had like, you know, whatever you with the beats, I just thought you had to delete them all out. I thought they were done recording, so I deleted all the beats out whenever they were recording and started fresh because I'm sweet, I didn't be on there. So he was saying he deleted some random track they were recording as House of Krazees. I was like, that was a funny little story I stumbled on.
That's good.
So yeah, that was it when it came to the HOK 3.0. The other little note I have here before we get to our final incarnation is just HOK affiliated groups.
Yeah, we've touched on this, but we can definitely discuss.
Yeah, I think these all fall under the umbrella, the family, the Krazees on our street, if you want to call it. We'll live on the same block as the house.
I was going to say they're in the same complex.
Yeah. So there's the Crazy Clan, which was a name that they first used before they became House of Krazees.
That was like their Wu-Tang.
Yeah,
like
their crew. And I imagine these guys were part of it at that time.
Yeah.
Because they're hanging out. It was Lavelle and Native Funk, later known as ABK.
J-Mo and J-Ho.
Yes, I forgot about J-Mo and J-Ho.
I pay attention.
So it was 95 to 99. They had
absolutely no music.
They had an EP.
Yeah, is it Developmental? Is that the name of it?
There's two. There's like the one with like the creepy like green globe head thing. It was like a cassette tape.
Oh yeah.
And then there was the one with like, I don't know if that was ever like officially released. They re-released it for sure back in like the early 2000s of like, it's a picture of them on the cover.
Yeah.
That's the one I always remember like having or listening to. That's all that came about from them until they started popping up on shows as Lavelle and
doing
ABK.
their own stuff. Yeah.
And then there's
6'6" realist.
Two Crazy Devils / Sleepwalkers, which was Psycho Slee / Sandman / Blaze Your Dead Homie. He and our old good friend Scraps from the HOK 2.0. He was known as Crazy with a K, just Crazy.
So
I.e. They never released any albums.
Yeah, they just had the one and it leaked.
Yeah.
And it's the worst quality shit ever.
So the story for that is Madness from Bedlam had that, and a buddy of his stole it or whatever and like bootlegged it and started selling it. And someone said that they had like 20 copies of it, and he sold so many, and then like Twisted bought the rest of them to like get him off the streets or something.
That's great. That's a funny story if that's true.
Yeah, if that's true, that is funny. The only thing they ever released was that little poster that I just picked up. I'll share that to
What was the size on that boy?
11 by 15 and a half, something stupid. I wonder if they just got like a giant sheet of them printed and just like cut it themselves, because like there's another one on eBay, and mine and the one on eBay both are like cut weird at the bottom, like you could tell it's not even. So I wonder if they just like cut some giant
You
sheet.
sure that it wasn't like 11.5 by 17 and someone just cut yours?
No, because the other one also says that's the size of it. I don't know.
All right.
I'm also like, is this legit? I'm like, who would have bootlegged this? Like, it looks old. I was confused by it.
And do you really care? Like,
I got it so cheap. The guy had it for $100 at first, like a year ago. I wanted to get it for $27.
Not bad.
Yeah. Add it right below the HOK thing, but funny if that's their only piece of merch, just one little poster, no albums. You can find those tracks on YouTube if you want to check them out.
Yeah, I feel like I've listened to them a little bit ago, and it was unlistenable.
Yeah.
The quality is unlistenable.
Right. Blaze also, you could tell, like, does not have a flow down yet. Like, you can kind of hear that voice that he winds up getting, but yeah, his flow is he's learning.
I mean, that's 5 years before the EP.
Yeah, this was 95. I didn't even put down the year for that, so it's crazy to think. And then the last group that falls into the block of the House of Krazees.
Not really, but you just wanted to put it in there.
Is Bedlam. Wearing the shirt right now if you're watching at home. Madness, Staples, and Prozac from 99 to 04-ish. I do think they're... Oh, my computer's trying to restart. Can't even handle the power of Madness and Bedlam. It did just restart, son of a bitch. The reason I do put them on there...
I gotta talk about this shit.
They were kind of under the wing of the 99 HOK 2.0. They're like, as I said, they're in the in-store with them. They're on shows with them, kind of coming up underneath their...
Trying to leech off of them.
They're twisted. So they took them under their wings. And as we're going to get to our next incarnation of House of Krazees artists, one member of Bedlam is also a member of this next group.
Wasn't Madness someone's hype man? Was he the hype man for the HOK 2.0?
I think so, yeah. See? Again, he's part of the family.
The Axis family.
Heard Bedlam likes fries also.
That's what Mike tells me. There's lots of correlations between Bedlam and Al-Azul.
They're definitely the what you call it, from the lineage of this timeline.
Forefathers.
Yeah.
Bedlam oiled the chainsaw so Al-Azul could run rampant with them.
Al-Azul, they definitely, as we were saying, all these acts that came after HOK pushed it to the extreme. Zul kind of scaled it back again and made it a little more. They took the death match and made it more just a sprinkling of the violence. He didn't need chainsaws and weed whippers to the chest.
Al-Azul's like the Ricky Shane Page.
They cleaned up the scene, made it a little more palatable.
Okay. So you want me to continue?
Yeah, because I can't talk now. My screen's gone.
All right.
I delayed the restarting of my new Windows for so long.
So this is all leading into, we've talked about these different versions of HOK, but coming, we will call it in mid to late 2002, we have a new age HOK.
Yes.
Should we kick it to our person to talk about first, and then we'll get into it?
A little intro, sure.
A little intro. So
sounds good.
What we are talking about is the Samhain Witch Killas.
Yes.
So let's go to we haven't talked to him in a week or two.
It's been a minute.
It's just going to be a quick little note, but let's kick it to our good buddy, the third member of the podcast, the R.O.C., and he's going to talk to us about what he remembers about the early days of the Samhain Witch Killas. 2002, Twisted re-records Nosferatu, and they do it under the alias of Samhain Witch Killas. This is about the time that you are coming back into the fold. Rumors about this new group, and there's song here, song there. Did you guys see Samhain Witch Killas as like a new era HOK? Was it a brand new group? Like, what was your vision of it at the time?
I think it was a combo kind of both, kind of a little revisit to HOK, but something brand new. You know, the Samhain Witch Killas project, you know, it was, it was supposed to kind of be something new, but also kind of a throwback to
nostalgic yet new.
You know, yeah.
And did you see that? Did you think it was just going to be a one-off couple songs, or did you guys have hopes it was going to recreate?
It was going to actually be an album and then done. You know, I didn't think it was going to be like, okay, and then now we're going on tour as SWK and this and that. I figured it'd probably be like an album or not an album. I shouldn't say album, sorry. Maybe in like an EP, you know, maybe 6 songs or something. Just something. Again, you know, that used to be the fun of doing things in little projects because it's that, okay, we're going to give you, you know, a taste of this, and now it, you know, disappears. Like a serial killer. Oh, man, didn't you hear 3 people got killed over there? Oh, really? Yeah, 3. And then it disappears. And then next thing you know, 3-4 years later, it's back. You know what I mean? It's kind of like that. That's kind of how I look at it. It's that boom, 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 and you're gone. And then next thing you know, you come back, you know? So I thought it was going to be like an EP. You know, at least. So, but I don't know why we didn't. I don't know why we don't get around to stuff. I'm always ready to do whatever, but I'm just like, okay, you just let me know when, and I'll try to be where I'm supposed to be. So,
and then that era, like I feel like the House of Krazees kind of always bubbled up, and people collecting would be like, oh, I want this tape and this, and then like when that popped up, like, oh, is this new? Are they back?
New?
And like,
it
always was a little thing bubbling. I feel like in the culture of folks chasing it down.
True, very true.
And now we have that EP coming out all on one actual CD, so that'll be something that we can all gravitate towards. And
for sure,
people who weren't around at that time, something physical. Yeah. I like the physical, but you know, it'd be something all together to put together.
For sure.
All right, that was R.O.C. talking about the Samhain Witch Killers, and now we are going to talk about the Samhain Witch Killers, and we're going to deep dive into one of their tracks, because people wanted to hear from all the other stuff, but we're like, we'll talk about it, but we only deep dive into the SWK.
We couldn't do one episode for each of those. What are we, crazy?
With a K and 2 E's. So this is 2 different lists, so let's kind of bounce around here. In August of 2002, a Samhain Witch Killers shirt dropped on the web store. And then when we say the web store, I assume that's the Psychopath Hatchet Gear.
No, it was on Twisted.com. Oh, actually, yeah, because Hatchet Gear was still housing everything.
Yeah, this was not yet Twisted's own thing. That's the next one, I think.
But with that post, leading in, I had it screen captured here, but I can't read it now because my computer's mid-update. There was a post discussing the single that'll be coming after the shirt.
Yes, that's 2 months later.
Yeah, so the post was like, what is Samhain Witch Killers? And the way they worded it was hilarious. I go, it wasn't just a t-shirt or a Halloween 2002 t-shirt that leaked too early on the web store.
That's great.
It's actually like a song, but they on the post speculate, is it a group, is it what's going to happen? But you'll get the first taste of it with this new song coming out. Yeah.
So the shirt, and they kind of recreated it this year, not entirely, but the staging of it. Yeah. It's 3 faces, the 3 masks, and they're like offset from each other. Real cool shirt, but yeah, like you said, everyone's like, what is this? This new group? What's going on? And
I mean, with that shirt, it's so calling HOK, like, for sure, when you see it.
And then that leads into Nosferatu, which was released on October 15th on Twisted.com. So we talked about that in the Nosferatu episode.
We did.
And that was officially the first Samhain Witch Killers track.
Right.
We will get into the tracks that they have put out in a second.
They did play that too at Halloween 2002. I clearly remember. I think they opened with it.
Of 02?
Because so that came out on the 15th. Like 2 weeks later, it would have been Halloween. I remember going to that show. I don't like. Again, we talk about remembering dumb things. I remember them playing that and being like, "Oh shit, this is that new song!" Like, and fired up about it. So, yeah.
All right.
Just so know.
Yeah, I don't remember that. So, now we're getting into like a couple years, and we don't have this talking about here, but let's go into the merch first. I know we're bouncing around a little bit, but so that was in late 2002. By May of 2003, the Magic Records website puts out a t-shirt with just the face. So it's like, I have that sticker. It's just like the oblong, whatever. And they also put out a similar hockey and football jersey with just that one mask.
I remember that football jersey. Like, I don't know why that one I would always see.
It's got like a green lining around it. In June of 2003, it comes out with on the Magic website, the ceremony cartoon picture.
I love that one.
Which you thought, I think that's the worst looking shirt.
It's the one like holding the lantern, right?
They're just all like spooky ghouls. It's not good, but Chris likes it. That's
I like
okay.
That one.
Also in June came out the orange SWK shirt, where it's got like the white SWK on the front, and on the back has a quote, which I don't remember what it is off the top of my head. But they recreated that recently. Magic Ninja re-popped that
when
one.
they were doing the Bloodletting EP, right? That was like
I believe
part of that release.
So. I think that came out, right?
I think so too.
I'm pretty sure it did. And then you wait a couple months, and now we're in January of 2004. You have a black Samhain Witch Killers logo, and it's got the mask on the back. And then you also have a black long sleeve green shirt with a newer SWK logo on the front.
Insane is like multiple years of merch. There's one track.
From August of 2002 to January of 2004. And that's why you kind of like were wondering, who is this going to be? And with the masks, with the orange, with Twisted, you assume it's a House of Krazees. We don't want to say repop or a stealing of, but just a new generation of HOK.
Cool name, too. Like, I dig the Samhain Witch Killers, the name.
And they kept teasing that The CD, the project would be the Bloodletting.
Yeah, there is an ad, right, that pops up like 05, it's like flames or whatever, and
in
says
someone's
Bloodletting.
Yes.
I
You
have that.
see it if you look for the tracks on YouTube. A lot
they
of
use
them
that
are
on
that.
as a picture. I think it says coming in 06 or coming in 05 on that.
You are just killing us today.
It's nighttime. I'm gonna take some honey before the next one.
You mean next week?
Yeah.
So yes, they did repop that shirt and they made a hat. The orange shirt.
Oh yeah.
On the back, celebrate the life of the dead
They call it
and call it Samhain.
That's cool. I'd rock that.
Do you call it Sam? What are these white ones? Those I think are bootleg. There's your mask.
Yes.
There's Nosferatu. There's your green.
Yeah, I kind of like that jersey. I mean, I would never wear it, but kind of like how it looks.
Weird that the trim on the sleeves is green, but on the neck is
I like
orange.
that. Yeah, a little Halloween flair.
It's just weird that you have two. Do they have any other jerseys that
They do that.
I can't think of one. Man, they have a black. That's cool. Like, there's some cool. They did a good job of promoting something that didn't come out.
Right.
Like it's fun shit, and it's spooky, and it's orange, and it's.
They never discussed why. Like, it just kind of.
No.
Is it like was Psychopathic not wanting to release it? Was they had so much going on, they just never got it together? Was it a battle still with Walter for the name, even though it was like?
And that's the other thing. Like, is this just the reincarnation of HOK, but you can't use the name?
Yeah.
But we have all three of us, so let's just do it under a different name.
That was my guess, and like I think maybe it was just. This is like from 02 to 06. That's like the run where they had so much shit. Just again, you have these ideas and just never get around to getting it done. It's kind of what I feel.
So we're missing a little bit here, but we're gonna plow through this part, and then I'm gonna go backwards.
Yeah.
Finally, 2 tracks come out aside from the original Nosferatu on Cryptic Collection Halloween Edition on 2006.
Right.
So that came out at Hallowicked 06. You have Spiderthing and Nightmares are the 2 tracks. And they are found in also other places, but that's where they debut. You also, Blaze Your Dead Homie on Clockwork Gray, Inside Looking Out.
Yeah.
That's a... Really?
It winds
Is
up
it?
on the
Okay.
compilation, yeah.
So that's on Clockwork Gray. And then you also we have the note on Mike Clark's Murder Mix Volume 2, the Killer Wicked Wig Splitter Remix,
Yeah.
which turns into, what's the name of the song? OG Wicked?
Yeah.
On Bloodletting.
Which is a beat from Project Deadman.
Corporate Lies.
And that came out in 04. This track is so convoluted. So the first time you hear it is a remix on Mikey Clark, the track Wicked itself.
Yes.
First time you're hearing it is the remix by Mike Clark. Then, the first time you hear that beat on Project Jam, but you don't know that's this song.
Gonna come up,
So
yeah.
you hear this Wicked Wig Splitter, whatever he calls it, and then when they put out this compilation, they have the OG version. So yeah,
It's all backwards.
yeah. Were they recording Samhain with Mike Clark while he's doing Dead Man? Like, was it all around 04 and then it gets scrapped? And he's just like, well, I'll use this for my other project. Yeah. What's the story behind that?
So I speculate, and we should, man, we're going all over the place. The tracks that we've heard so far, not Nosferatu, that's different, but Spiderthing, Nightmares, Inside Looking Out are all, it's leading us to see that Samhain Witch Killas is Monoxide, Madrox, R.O.C, and Blaze.
Right.
So your new HOK has 4 people in it. Although, the first one only had the 3 masks. But regardless, they're like, hey, we got Blaze here. Let's toss him in there. I think somewhere down the line, with the Project Dead Man tie-in, and at least one of those tracks has Prozac on it, right? I really think that with him opening for Twisted on some of those for early Fright Fests, I think he had something to do with this.
Yeah.
Did he produce that and then bring it to his own thing? Like, how did that come about? That I don't know. There's some story, but yeah, where did that all come from?
It's almost like Mars joined Dark Lotus. Like you said, he's doing shows.
They came together and they split out before it even.
He's from Bedlam. He's got the House of Krazees lineage. Why not? We all converge and make the ultimate HOK.
Did they do the handshake? So
it's like when the Mega Maniacs formed.
That's what I'm saying. I was
I'm thinking of the Ultimate Maniacs.
It's all the same. So yes, Samhain Witch Killas, while all the other ones were kind of just like trying to keep the HOK name alive, this was almost like a brand new re-envisioning of HOK under the Psychopathic label. So how many people were in it? 3? 5? We don't know. Finally, in 2024, this CD came out. The Bloodletting EP. Where is it? Is it over by you? It's all the way at the beginning. Just to see what's on it. So, on this CD, you have Nosferatu version 2. When It Gets Dark. But where did When It Gets Dark come out?
That was a Fright Fest single.
Right.
That's the one with Prozac on it.
Gotcha. Nightmares, Spiderthing, Inside Looking Out, and The Wicked OG. So, cool, super cool cover with 4 people on it.
They're like stone. Look like stone statues that have like hazmat masks on.
I enjoy it. That it all just went to hell.
Well, HOK is officially collapsed. It's just Samhain now.
Okay. Well, you're right. Let's put that right there. So yeah, 2024, that finally comes out from Magic Ninja as part of a mystery box kind of deal. Not a mystery box, but a box nonetheless.
Yeah.
Now, to go backwards, as we always do, this is what always screws me up, and I won't dwell too much on it. 2003 is the first Fright Fest.
Yes.
They do one in 04, also in Denver. 05, they move it to Massachusetts. 06, Twisted is back opening for ICP.
Right.
And 06 is where Cryptic comes out.
Right.
I think, because I thought I saw it, did they not come out and do one or two of those? Did they not do Spiderthing and probably Nightmares? Because that came out on 06's Cryptic. I think they did that live.
At 06?
Yes, and I think everyone was like, oh shit, what is this? Now, was it their own set, or was it the end of the Twisted or beginning of the Twisted set? That I don't know.
Yeah.
But I kind of distinctly remember Spiderthing being played. And did I see a video? This is where my mind fucks with me. Did I see it from a video from 05, or did I see it when they opened in 06?
Oh, so you think they might have did it a full year earlier?
If they did it in 05, it's crazy that it would have taken a year to go and see that.
Right.
It would have been interesting if they did it and then, you're buying it, so it's right there. So I truly think that they were like starting to get ready to fucking rock and roll with it.
Yeah.
So I'm sure someone else knows. I swear that they played that live.
I can't remember if I was at. This is where I started like disappearing from the scene, so I can't remember if I was even there then.
It was at the State Theater, but they were all at the State Theater.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think they were getting ready. Like, okay, maybe Psychopath was going to put something behind it, and then nothing.
Yeah.
So, but again, you're talking 2 years after.
Maybe it was punishment for leaving. When he came back, you're like, no, we're not putting your extra project out. Worry about your own shit first.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that was really what it was.
Yeah, you never know.
Right.
Or they just did a couple and didn't want to do any more.
Yeah.
Like, who knows? Or maybe they really were banking on Prozac. And
True.
he's like, I'm out of here.
Yeah, I had to go make fucking Ghost Hunter shows. No.
You never know. So, yeah, that's kind of the convoluted many year history of Samhain Witch Killers.
And it always been speculated, like to this day even. I feel as always everyone, even them. I think when we talked to R.O.C, he was like, "Yeah, I don't know what it was."
Yeah, just a EP. Like, it didn't seem like it was a. They wanted to reinvigorate the HOK feel, but maybe they just didn't.
Maybe they didn't feel it at the time. That's true.
So maybe all those years of singles were just trying, and they didn't feel it until 31.
It's true.
So
this was the year. You had the Bloodletting EP. You had 31. You had the show. What a celebration of Samhain.
I agree. So now that we're talking Samhain Witch Killers, we are going to deep dive into one of those tracks.
Let's do it.
And the one that we picked was Spiderthing. Do you need to? Are you good? Or are you? I'm just making sure. Producer. We don't know who produced this CD.
No.
We assume R.O.C. Could be Mike Clark.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like an R.O.C beat. I don't think. Like thinking back now on how it like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough to say from that era.
Would have been Fritz even? Who knows?
No one knows. No one cares. No, we
No one
care.
cares.
But we don't know.
No.
But the time on this track, 3 minutes and 22 seconds. And again, Samhain Witch Killer. Well, we'll talk about that in a minute. 3 minutes, 22 seconds. This is the 4th track on the Bloodletting EP.
Yeah.
And it's also found, as we said, on the Cryptic Collection Halloween, both on the original version, which came out in 2006, thank you. And also on the 2016 reissue, but only on the CD, not on the vinyl.
For whatever reason, the vinyl axes the 2 Samhain Witch Killer tracks.
That's not the only 2. It has to cut a bunch of them, right?
No, those are the 2, I believe.
There's only 7 songs on there? No, the new one has like 17 tracks.
Really?
It's massive.
Yeah.
Pick that back.
My assumption, they cut it on the vinyl just to fit to one LP.
Maybe. But I really think that, they had a whole bunch. But I was doing all that off of Genius. Maybe Genius is wrong. But I swear it had like 16, 18 tracks.
Just the Cryptic Collection Halloween in general?
The Magic Ninja
version of it.
Reissue.
Yeah, they probably added all the whatever bullshit they put out after that.
Yes.
No, this one I thought was just this is just the original with those 2 cut off. The vinyl was.
That's fair. That's a fair assumption. Now I'm
pretty sure this is the first vinyl, at least LP, that Magic Ninja put out was this Cryptic Collection vinyl. I remember getting super excited when it came out, like, oh, sweet, getting a bunch of like Halloween songs on vinyl finally.
So the original Cryptic Halloween had 9 tracks.
Yeah.
So that would make sense that's those 7 that you said. And it's funny how this is listed on the When It Gets Dark is labeled as Twisted, featuring Project Deadman and the R.O.C.
Yeah. On the actual booklet it says that, or is it just...
That's what it says on Discogs.
Yeah.
Which is funny because on the next 2 tracks it says Samhain Witch Killers. But why is When It Gets Dark not labeled as that?
I mean, we consider it canon because they put it on the Bloodletting EP, so it'd have to be considered a Samhain.
And it doesn't say on the back of the CD, it says SWK for the last 2, but not that one. Also not for Nosferatu. So...
add to the convolutedness of SWK.
Very strange. Very strange indeed. But now I'm trying to find whatever, and it's just not working, so I'm going to look at one more thing. And, this says the 2016 version has 19 tracks.
Oh, jeez.
But it's got a ton of shit. Like your Pimples on Your Pumpkin, Sweet Tooth, High on Halloween, like all those lead off of it. Or lead up to it. And then Green Pumpkins, Nosferatu. So, Next. Impending Evil, Knock Knock.
I forgot about Impending Evil.
Random shit. So, all right. So that answers that question. Does it, though? I don't know.
What was the question?
Don't know. So now we're jumping right into
Yes.
this track called Spiderthing, which Samhain Witch Killas, consisting of Twisted, R.O.C, and where's the dead homie?
You dead homie.
So it's like Twisted plus Zodiac Imprint.
That is true.
All right. Triple threat plus
Plus
R.O.C.
RC.
All these kinds of mixes and matches.
2 crazy devils minus scraps.
Plus House of Krazees. All right. Spiderthing.
We should have put Zodiac Imprint under the folks under the.
Now we're just getting, but technically, kind of, yes. Spiderthing.
Yes.
First verse. Blaze, you dead homie. Is he you dead homie?
Does he have a different name in Samhain Witch Killas? He's just Blaze?
Now that's a good question. Do any of them
Use their names?
Man, I wish I knew. I wish I did that much.
Never would have thought of
research.
that till just now.
Yeah. All right. So Blaze, Spiderthing. It's disgusting when I transform into something beyond frightening to the naked eye. Logic you can try transposed. Set my skin and exposed. God, this is weird. His flow is so different than what it's written here. It's through the nature of the being and the creature that's enclosed. Then you have Madrox pop in and say, don't call me arachnophobic. And Blaze says, call me arachni insane. No rhyming, no, we're just talking spider shit.
Also, if you're transforming into a spider-like thing, it would suck if you're arachnophobic. You're turning into one.
Would be a problem. Are we picturing like the Fly? Like
I'm thinking
Jeff
of the
Goldblum?
Thing when the dog, the alien gets inside the dog and it like rips out of its body and those big like legs come out and it starts walking. That's what I visualize it looks like.
I'm thinking of Jeff Goldblum like crawling on the ceiling. I've stolen a couple arms. Okay. Still, I maintain in my brain you're already caught up in my weapon, and your body is prepared for the bloodletting.
There you go.
I think a little double thing here, prepared for the bloodletting of the EP, but also that I think they talk about it later on, that he's feasting on you. Like he's
Back to
sucking
their
your blood.
vampire gimmicks.
Well, that you're a spider. You're a blood-sucking spider.
Well, bloodletting is actually...
There we go.
It's a practice, medical practice to like expunge diseases or evil spirits or multiple things from
That's
your
what the
body.
guy was doing in The Begotten.
That was God ripping his body apart, giving birth to Mother Earth.
Yes, I'm sorry. My apologies.
I had the page up for bloodletting. I was going to pull some things to annoy you with, but my computer's still updating. So.
I'm sorry.
But that's...
Oh, you can't even look at the lyrics. I'm sorry.
So that's, bloodletting is a practice of cleansing yourself.
I understand.
You know what I want to do that one time? They got those little things, little suction cups they put in your back and suck the blood out.
Cupping.
Yeah.
So you want to look like Will Ospreay when he's got like the fit...
That's like a porn thing.
Cupping?
Actually, you know what I do want to do?
Oh my God.
A little bloodletting as well. Acupuncture. That sounds like a fun one to do. Stick all those little needles in you.
Yeah, but there's no blood.
Yeah, you bleed a little bit, right? It's going in your body.
All right.
I'm a spider thing.
Second verse. So Blaze, like a full verse. Now we have verses 2 and 3, which are kind of short verses. R.O.C. I connect when you stick to this. You can't escape the bite of the 8-legged vicious. So fuck you punk bitches. I got a new edition. And the 7 thorns stanched from my chest make me the sickest. So he's talking about an 8-legged.
He's got kind of a web too. You're sticking to this, but like the spiders have thorns coming out like their chest. They have the two like.
Yeah, their faces, but I don't know if they have like. I
also love like a classic R.O.C. where midway through the theme he just wants to do a little shit talking.
Fuck you, punk bitches.
I feel like it's been a thing that's happened a few times.
8-legged, is he talking? Is he 8-legged, or are they talking the 8 legs of the 4 members of the Samhain Witch Killas?
Oh, Oh,
Are
yeah, they're like the
Voltron.
Power Rangers.
Power Rangers.
They all combined to create the spider thing.
It could be.
Now that would have been a fun gimmick.
They all had
Like Devastator.
when they were wrapped on stage, they all had to like connect to each other. They like shuffle next to each other.
It's like the Human Centipede.
Yes, that's exactly what I was talking about. So that's all he has.
Yeah.
Quick 4 lines. Madrox, quick 4 lines here. I'm a predator, none like you've ever seen in your life. More arms, more cutting and choking, it feels right. More hands reaching around to strangle out your life, and they wonder why the spider web is wove so tight.
They all kind of get a little bit of spiderness, but you almost, if you're just listening along in the background, you're just like, oh, it's just like a serial killer track of like, yeah, choking, stabbing.
But there's lots of like, yeah, if you're listening about the webs and the arms.
Like it bleeds back and forth between a typical horror scary track or, yeah, them more metamorphosis.
Well, then you get to the hook, which I think is R.O.C, Madrox, and Blaze.
Yeah. It's all home but monoxide.
Yeah. I'm a spider thing. I'm becoming something.
Call from him. Blaze comes out with his little thing.
Far from amazing, sick and disgusting. You wouldn't want to get caught in my web. You wouldn't want to get caught in the web of a spider.
I was thinking about that, how monoxide wasn't on. I feel like his flow doesn't match their voices when it comes to that hook. So if they all bounce off each other well. Like I feel like his voice doesn't fit in that.
And it's almost like they made it without him, because then he has a full verse, but then he's got a mini verse at the end. So he's really like, it's not totally off. He's not.
They had to piece him in
yeah,
later on.
It's not so much like that. Verse number 4. It's crazy. They were in 4th verse because they're all so small. Monoxide. Walk on 8 legs, and they keep calling me freak. So he's got 8 legs, maybe. I'm always creeping really low, looking for flesh to eat. Here we go with his fucking words. And I can spin webs. They say I'm problematic, getting caught in my arachniatic type static.
Is arachniatic an actual word?
That's a good question. It's arachnid-like. Tragic how the poison will travel straight to your brain and unravel you with the pain that rattles your everything.
Thang.
The gallows. Now here we go.
Yeah.
Not the loot gallows. The gallows are about the pain. Look at me as I hang, like suicidalists who couldn't handle being strange.
That's
Is that not a reference to both Isham and Tech 9?
I was gonna say, was there someone from Isham's camp who went to strange music? It didn't hang. Like, yeah, what?
That I don't know.
Interesting. Yeah, it seems specific, doesn't it?
I mean, to use both of those, the suicidalist is not like a real word,
right?
And they were doing stuff with like, I don't know, all those fucking the NWOB team of that era of Strange, but
yeah, I mean, Strange always has so many fucking people. I mean, Prozac would have been at that point. Prozac and Mike Clark were on Strange for Project Deadman.
I mean, yeah, I guess I didn't even realize. Yeah, I guess so. I don't know.
Yeah, it was Prozac would have been a suicidalist. He'd have been an Isham fan, so maybe it's a diss at Prozac after they all fell out from.
After he stole their fucking beat.
Yeah, maybe that is a diss at Prozac there.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's. I hate to be the one that say, "Oh, every time you say the word clown, you're talking about."
Right.
Like, I'm not like that, but
nowadays, man, they had that one track. Like, there's a track called "Clown," I think.
I literally just listened to.
Yeah,
that.
and I'm like, I don't catch any, but everyone's like trying to overanalyze what they say. If it's
that's on Glyph, right?
Yeah, it just got put on vinyl.
I just listened to that, and I mean, I've heard it before, but I gave it a good listen the other day. I'm like, this CD's not bad.
I like it.
Yeah.
The one I mentioned, was someone answered last week's question. 31's the best album since. Revialism, however you say it. The white album with like the
Revelation.
Revelism.
No, it's like Revelation.
It's not called Revelation. It's called Revelism, I think.
Okay.
Anyways, I can't look it up. That one's really good. I think that one's slept on. It's like straight up like hip hop. That one I think has a legit high-speed diss on it. But nonetheless, that one feels like straight up like their angry hip-hop album. I feel like that one doesn't get enough love.
Yeah, I need to listen to that more. I guess I haven't given that its just due.
He's going to look it up and say revelism.
It's not revelism. It's fucking
revealism.
asshole.
This isn't a 2020.
Revelation.
Oh, it's just spelled weird. Yeah.
It's shocking.
That's why.
That's why.
They came out in 2020, right? That was a pandemic album, I believe.
It does say 2020.
See, at least I got that right. I remember.
Was that the pandemic album, or was Mad Season the pandemic
They all
album?
were.
We're still in the pandemic album era.
I sound like it today.
Oh no.
This is still lingering from Hollowicked. Whatever's going on in here.
2017?
Yeah. The 2006 one that we discussed.
Jesus. Where were we?
Oh, I'm back, baby.
All right. Do I have to wait for you?
No,
or
go
is
ahead.
All right. So then we go right into a Madrox verse. My fascination is growing, exploding into an ocean of dreams. Very nice, somber.
I was going to say sexual.
That too. Nothing is ever as it seems. And I believe with the power of Arachnid, with the web I could weave, no one could ever escape that. In fact, I was toying with the notion of becoming a black widow, tarantula, spider, something. I'd be cutting at the elbows, sewing up my torso, appendages, needle and thread, muscle and bone.
That's fun at the end there. The little description of him like sewing himself together as a spider thing.
So he's making a costume?
Yeah.
Instead of Dracula, maybe Blaze should come out and he's got like the arms attached to his arms, so when he lifts them, and they're all waving.
Man, that'd been great if they came out and did this song all like that.
Let's just throw live spiders at the crowd.
No, thank you. I'll take Hay and Fago over that.
Then you get the hook again.
The amount of use of arachnid for everything is so funny.
Everyone's like, oh, no one else will use this. And then they're like, wait a minute, I guess we're going to. All right. Verse number 6, after the hook. R.O.C. R.O.C. always has, like we say, the weird, choppy flow. This first part of this verse is all choppy. Yeah. It's like, my legs move faster than yours, but still I let you through. Like, it's so slow.
It's as you read it, I'm like, that's not how it is, but I'm like, it's so hard to, even last week on 31, like, enter into the, like, the way he talks, like, I can never, like, read it the way he flows.
My webs, they cross. But then the beat, like, has a little kick in, and that's where his flow like gets back to like what you would call a normal pace. The more you squirm, the more energy it costs. My spider senses tell me that you are ready to go. I leave too slow. Paralysis took control. Now you can't move. I got you right where I want you to be. Now your mind, body, and soul belongs to me. So he's got you in his web, and now he's stuck you, and the paralysis from the poison.
I was wondering if you mentioned how the beat kicks in after his like choppiness. I wonder if he'd produced it then, if like he.
I always wonder that
built it around for himself.
I didn't go back to think. Is the beat like that at the beginning of everyone's verse?
I didn't think that through.
And he just decided to like ride through it
because he's known to do that. He knows he likes to do that with his flow.
Now it's like a full verse. Now you have the two mini ones. You got Blaze and Monoxide coming up. Blaze, bite like a white widow. Now I looked this up. Oh, you always think about the black widow, but there's a spider called a white widow.
I was wondering if there actually was one. I thought he was just trying to be like, well, the women are black widows, so the men will be the white widow. Or everyone thought it was black.
It's very strange. Like I tried to look it up, and they didn't have like. I couldn't find exact. Yeah. There was like the white widow spider. It can only be found in like this weird like Egypt and like North Africa and weird shit.
Dark Lotus spider, huh?
But then there's like white spiders in the Pacific Northwest, but I don't think that is the same as this. But when you Google it, they all kind of blend together. There's also a plant called the white widow, which totally throws off the algorithm of what you're trying to find. But I think the poisonous white widow is like I want to say a North African spider.
Do you think Blaze actually went that far?
100% not.
I think he just went, the women are called black widows, so I'll be the white widow.
Or just, oh, that sounds cool. Like, yeah. Or he meant Black Widow. And
That'd be really fun if he just meant it.
bite like a white widow. Spew venom to paralyze. Oh, goddamn. R.O.C. already did that.
Yeah, jump on him, piggybacking him.
And wrap you in my web just like a spider would a fly. That's...
Pulling all the analogies out.
Drain your blood until you die and keep your body for a feast. And once I got a taste, the cravings only increase. So now we're finally talking about like catching you in the web and like draining your blood, which he talked about.
He opened with that, right?
Yeah, talking about the bloodletting. So he's all about the blood. Monoxide.
Give me that blood. Give me that blood.
No freeze. Bump, 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 bump. Monoxide. Now, maintain the praying. Pull up anyone who's running away. Tell them that today is the day. I've got 16 eyes and all of them on you. So move slow is all you motherfuckers want to do.
I you had to get the eyes in. So you had the fangs, you had the arms, you had everything was referenced. Got all the eyes into.
Those weird little eyes. and then you got the hook 3 times.
Yeah, ride you out.
Spiderthing. Sick and disgusting.
The hook is the best part.
Hook
you
is
wouldn't
good.
want to get caught in my web.
Very quick track.
Yeah.
Because they all have very short verses, but it's got all 4 of them.
Almost like they're trying to do the Lotus with it, the way they, like some will have a full verse, some will split a verse. They're there's no order to it. Like that's very Lotus-like the way it's kind of tossed together like that.
I mean, we didn't go that far.
Yeah.
But not that there was a split then officially, but there was always like the ICP side and the Twisted side, like their boys and all that. Was this their shot at a super group of their own?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Like, we used to be one. Why can't we just do one and have Blaze now?
Right.
You're right. If ICP was on this, then it would be Lotus. It would be a lot like that.
The theme too, for sure. This is maybe a little more campy and fun than Lotus tries to be, but it kind of has the same thing where they play a theme throughout the whole thing.
This very easily could have been a Dark Lotus.
Yeah. This would have been a cool direction if Samhain Witch Killas would have been like, we'll just take classic horror monsters or just spooky things in general, and like those are the tracks, as opposed to like the Asylum and like whatever they're doing with HK. Like Samhain's gonna be like, all right, this is our spider track. We'll do a pumpkin patch track. We'll do a Dracula track.
So let's, before we get too off the rails, the I always forget the name. The classic monsters, the 5.
The Universal monsters.
Have they done movies? Have they done songs about all of them?
No way.
So they know Nosferatu.
Yeah.
I mean, so is Dracula. Frankenstein. There's 2 Frankenstein songs.
Tracks.
Wolfman. Do they have any Wolfman songs?
That feels like there should be a Wolfman song.
Howl at the Moon, or
someone turns into a wolf.
That one Shaggy song where it's at the end, Howl at the Moon.
I love that part.
What else?
No
is
Invisible Man.
And No Creature from the Black Lagoon.
No. Who else? The Mummy. That's just Dark Lotus. That's just Blaze.
Blaze is just the Mummy. What if he came out just wrapped in toilet paper?
Remember how we did the Universal Monsters wrestling poster? We should do M&E one where they're all different Universal Monsters.
I mean, where do you have that up?
Over there.
Here? Is there only 5?
No, I mean, I guess it depends how you like.
I always see
classify,
5.
The original, I guess.
Oh man, because I said the creature. The creature isn't part of that.
He wasn't even that original run.
Oh, you son of a bitch! He's the best one of the group.
Invisible Man. Was Wolfman even?
Yeah, because you have Wolfman there.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think about like when those came out, because I was watching them as they were released. It's like Dracula, Mummy, Invisible Man.
Who's in the upper left-hand corner?
Funk's Frankenstein.
Yeah, who's the other one? I can't say.
Oh, upper left is Abby.
Abby
is the Mummy.
Yeah.
That was very subtle on that one. Ow!
They're all very subtle.
Watch the Sicko TV down there.
Sorry.
Actually, the Sicko one's up there. I should have put Maction on while we were doing this. I forgot.
All right.
Yeah.
So, how do you feel about Spiderthing or Samhain Witch Killas in general?
I think Spiderthing is a fun track. I don't think I liked it on the initial,
Originally?
like in 06 when I heard it. I was just like, it's almost too goofy. But now, like, I think it's fun for what it is. Like, I think it's cool to do a little bit of campiness on that nature when it comes to the spooky tracks. So yeah, I'm down with it. And Samhain in general, I don't know. I like all the tracks. I don't think they flow together at all.
Yeah, it's a very disjointed album.
Yeah, like do you think any of those were? I guess we'd consider Spiderthing and what's the other track from?
I keep forgetting. Nightmares.
Yeah, I would imagine those two were from the session that would have been the original album.
Probably.
Nosferatu definitely wasn't. That was for sure just a
redo
and to throw out there. When It Gets Dark, I feel like was a single. Like that was just
seems like after the fact, kind of.
That was a Fright Fest single. So yeah, I guess you just compare those two. Who knows what the actual album would have wound up being? But as a whole, when you take it's a jumbled mess, just like Samhain Witch Killas is.
It has potential, but yeah, even I thought, I'll be honest, when that finally came out this year, I had higher hopes for it, and I'm like, wow, even though we've heard a majority of it, I'm like, this didn't really hit like I thought it was.
I was assuming there'd be some other like unearthed things or like they recorded some new stuff for it.
Yeah.
That's what I thought maybe.
You have the one new track.
Yeah, which is my least favorite of them. I like the Mike Clark remix much better.
Yeah, I need to compare them all. I didn't.
That one's just Madrox, but it's listed as the Samhain Witch Killer track on the.
It's great.
On the book.
Yeah, I was slightly disappointed with it overall, but as we talked about last week, 31 fucking. Mm-hmm. I guess for a minute I was worried that like, oh god, this is what HOK is going to sound like, but no, that.
Yeah.
Was not an issue.
I wonder if they'll ever do like even just for the songs of Samhain if they do a SWK track. I mean, it's basically that compilation is just like all the artists all over the place.
Yeah.
But like you had on there those the Venomous 5 tracks that never came out were tossed onto there.
Yeah.
It's like those have a vibe. HOK has a vibe, but I'm like, oh, you sprinkle in Blaze and maybe you do more goofy tracks like this for Samhain. That'd be kind of fun to have it on those.
Maybe Blaze just threw off the
it's his fault.
Aesthetic. I don't know. Why is HOK so good, but Samhain's not as good?
I think they're fine as one-offs, but putting them together just doesn't.
Yeah. You would think, like you said, if that was a more cohesive thing, maybe it would have been different.
Yeah.
Because, how can you go wrong with that?
Right. Group.
It's Eastside Ninjas minus ABK plus R.O.C.
You saying ABK needs to be hacked off?
No, I'm saying that it's like a super group that they have. Like, why do some work and some don't? Like, everyone has a different idea, but like now this could be, we could talk about this for future things, but like if you're talking super groups, like for me, why does Triple Threat not work but Eastside Ninjas did?
Yeah.
I don't know. Why does the new 31 work but Samhain Witch Killas doesn't? Like, I don't know.
Why does the new Riders work and you don't like any other one but the first one?
It's a very good question.
Riding dirty.
Someone said 31 was the best CD since the Riders, and I'm like, did you mean the new one, or did you mean
the new one? Yeah,
that's great. Thank God.
I finally listened to that. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I like it. Someone said the fucking LLE CD, the Lost Lakes Estates.
I like that.
Anyways,
I don't like it as much as Zool proper.
Who cares? This is not a Zool proper podcast.
We'll be soon enough. Working on that again.
Sure, hope not.
Third time's the charm.
Still waiting on that text. All right, so this was kind of a clusterfuck of an episode that went way longer than it should have.
Always.
Tying together all of the HOK-esque stuff. So, anything else to discuss?
No, I think that's it.
You're good?
Yeah.
All right, this was all leading up to us talking about Samhain Witch Killas. Hopefully that, we'll see if that brings out anything in the future. It brought out some merch.
Fire merch. Years of fire merch.
Yep. Finally a new CD. Well, it was just a collection of shit. So that's that. But as we wrap up this episode and the season, we're winding down. So we're going to remind you about all the things real quick here. Don't forget to follow us on all social medias. We're talking Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, all that good stuff. Blue Sky.
I did sign up for that.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I was just joking, but okay.
The only Juggalo adjacent thing I follow on there is Dirk Manning. I cannot find anyone else Juggalo adjacent on there.
Mike P's not on there?
Fuck no, Mike P ain't on there.
So we are.
Mike Clark should have already went over there by now, I'd imagine.
Everything that we're on is at Juggalo RWD. Don't forget, when you're listening and watching, wherever you do that, for us, you want to rate, review, and subscribe. Rating and the reviewing helps everyone learn about us through your words, and then subscribing lets us land in your inbox every Thursday morning, or as close as we can get it. But more importantly, sharing with a friend, whether it's posting on social media, handing out a flyer, shoving a CD right in someone's face and saying, listen to these guys.
CD? Got CD samplers?
Whatever.
We should do CD samplers. Just do all old school promotional items.
I'm okay with that. Just get how someone brought you into the fold, you bring someone else into the fold, and we and they will appreciate it.
They, them, in general. Had a nice run of Facebook follows all week, trickling in randomly.
We do like the boomers on the Facebook. You can listen and watch everywhere where podcasts can be found. And then we can also be watched on YouTube. So that's youtube.com/@JuggaloRWD. If you want to connect with us, questions, comments, concerns, or stories about HOK or anything in the Juggalo world or not, whatever you wish, you can leave us a voicemail or text us at 810-666-1570 or email us at juggalorwd@gmail.com. And if you have something worthwhile, maybe you'll hear from us in the near future.
Yeah, we should have plugged that for next week. If anyone had any stories of old HOK shows, this HOK show, the new album, anything you want, we could plug it in there.
You had all season.
I know. Didn't think of like.
We've been saying it all season.
I know. We didn't. I could have plugged in more. I could have made the Bernie Sanders ghoul face saying, "I ask you one more time." That meme. Pull that one out of the bank.
The one where he's in the sweater and the mittens?
No, it's just the one where he's like staying somewhere. He's like, it's like, I'm here to ask you one more time. It became a meme a few years ago. I used that.
All right.
Hulk Hogan on the phone with the ghoul face. I've used that.
It's a good one, the ghoul face.
So, if we get them, maybe we'll plug some in. If you get any, if not, we'll fuck you then.
Also, I like it. Website up and running, juggalorewind.com.
Check out those reviews we made from the past two Friday Fresh shows.
It was noted, and I thought about it too. Do you need to put something of who wrote which one?
Yeah, I thought about it. Put our names on it.
Yeah, that's what I do.
They, them.
HOK in general. If you want to listen to more of us, go in our archives of wrestling nonsense. That's 20x20 apparel for your shirts and 20x20 pod for your podcasting. And then Steve didn't do any music for, we used his bits this year, or this episode. So thank you to Steve for his music, Christmas for her voiceover work, which we didn't use in this episode. So fuck them both. Delete both of them, strike them from the record. But we didn't talk about our glasses. They should be here. We'll talk about those next week.
We talked about it last week.
Yeah, maybe we'll have one up on the table.
It hasn't been full because I'm still fighting, as you've heard me all the week.
I started that list, so we know who's getting one and who doesn't. And then if we missed anything, you can check our show notes or our link tree that's in any of the biographies on social medias, and you can find all of this and more right at your fingertippy tips.
Yes.
So, are you ready?
Yes.
All right, we got to get out of here. We've done enough HOK adjacent, so now we need to...
tortured you long enough.
Yes, this was the longest episode mentally, physically, and emotionally for me. Not that I didn't have a bad enough day, but today has been made infinitely worse because of this episode. Hopefully, it does not make your episode worse. And, man, there's so many other things I want to talk about, but we got roped into all this bullshit, but that's okay.
Yeah. Well,
we'll talk about. Yeah, it won't be the right time then.
Oh,
too late. I was going to talk about where we're going to be upcoming.
Oh,
this coming weekend, I am going to be in Chicago at the A League of Their Own reunion.
Oh yeah,
so
I didn't realize that was already coming up.
That's coming up. So
hell yeah, man.
We'll be
post some photos, social view with all the stars.
I can't wait. But anyways. That's neither here nor there. You can follow my personals for all that bullshit. Yeah. But otherwise, this has been the HOK adjacent episode, but focusing on Samhain Witch Killas. Hopefully If you didn't know about them, now you do, and you will go seek out their spookiness. All right, that's all we got. We will catch you next week for
Bedlam. Bedlamites Rise. The deep dive.
Or we're going to wrap up this season. Either way, it'll be a hoot. Thank you. All music played is owned by the respective publishers and copyright holders and is reproduced for review purposes only under fair use. Season 7 of the Juggalo Rewind House of Krazees edition is done with full participation and help from Magic Ninja Entertainment. Thank you to George, Mike, all 3 members of the House of Krazees, and everyone over at M&E for their help on bringing this project to you.
The House of Krazees.